So the Chicago Bulls have announced they are waiving guard Goran Dragic, which I have to say I'm a little surprised. I know a lot of people have been saying they saw this coming, especially after they signed Patrick Beverley. And while yes, his role was obviously going to be reduced once Beverley was signed, I guess so surprised in the sense that I feel like oftentimes the front office has a hard time sort of admitting defeat. Not that this was a major defeat, but it was one of their few free agency signings. They did it with the intention that he would be able to provide a big role while Lonzo was out, which obviously ended up being for the whole season. And it's also just kind of crazy in terms of the overall turn of events since the start of the year, where Dragic was kind of this weird success story for the Bulls in that he was actually playing well. Him and Drummond were actually playing nicely together in the pick and roll. Dragic was one of those veteran leaders that the Bulls really looked to help run and manage the offense coming off the bench. You had reporters saying that Dragic was really happy in Chicago, happy in his role. Then the team started struggling. He mentioned how the guys simply aren't playing for each other. Dragic was also in and out of the lineup due to injuries, and his role became further reduced over time. So I guess I'm surprised in the sense that, again, this just didn't seem like something the front office would do, but also not surprised because Dragic's role was becoming less prominent. The Bulls obviously aren't playing that well, and also just maybe this isn't what he thought it would be, given the fact that this is probably his final year of his career in the NBA, and he probably wants to go play on a contending team and have a more prominent role on that team. Not really sure if he'll find that. I don't know if there are a lot of teams that are just chomping at the bit to add Dragic, but he is a very respected veteran voice in the locker room, which carries weight on teams that have championship aspirations. The move is also interesting for the Bulls, given they waived Tony Bradley to free up that open roster spot for Patrick Beverley. I highly doubt the Bulls are just waiving Dragic to free up a roster spot for nothing. You'd have to think that they're going to sign some player to fill up that open roster spot. And it's funny because the Raptors actually released Juancho Hernangomez at the same time the Bulls announced that they were waiving Goran Dragic. Hernangomez, who the Bulls were actually rumored to be pursuing leading up to the deadline, or perhaps that was actually his brother. I'd have to go back and look on that one. But would the Bulls make a move for him on a vet minimum deal for the rest of the season? I'm not opposed to the idea, considering the Bulls need more bigs. Not sure that Juancho Hernangomez really moves the needle at all for the Bulls. Maybe a slight upgrade from Tony Bradley, but not a player you could see getting rotational minutes. The Raptors claim Will Barton after being bought out with that freed up roster spot. Feel like that would have been a better pickup for the Bulls. Some have been saying it's possible the Bulls would actually make a move for Nerlens Noel, which I would be much more agreeable to, but he's still under contract if I'm not mistaken, so unless he's getting bought out, I don't see how the Bulls get him, since they can't actually do that in the form of a trade. It's also very possible by the time you're watching this that the Bulls have already signed someone, as that's how quickly things work in the NBA sometimes. But either way, I wanted to share my quick thoughts on the breaking news regarding the Bulls releasing Goran Dragic. Let me know what you guys think of this and who you think the Bulls should actually add to their roster with the open spot. Also, don't forget the Bulls are actually going to be taking on the Raptors here pretty soon in just a few hours. I'll have a post-game video out after the game. Until then, guys, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.